Good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and just start with the introduction. So I'm Jose Delgado, 6-year cryptologic warfare officer in the United States Navy, and I'm looking to be a full stack engineer.
Hey everyone, Andrew Washko. Thanks for being with us here today. I'm a soon-to-be separated Air Force service member who's looking forward to building in the next stage of his career.
Hey everybody, my name is Will Minshall. I'm a Navy submarine veteran, and trying to become a full stack engineer.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick Lukey, 4 years in the Air Force, and I'm trying to be a full stack engineer as well.
My name's Johnny Ventura. Spent 6 years in the Air Force. I've been out for 2. I'm currently in healthcare, trying to switch over to software engineering.
All right, so our application is called BeerBuddies. The idea behind it is similar to Pokemon Go. We want people to kind of explore their local areas, and what better way than to go get a beer with your friends. The idea behind it is to use virtual currency in order to purchase a beer either here or somewhere else, and you get a corresponding QR code, which you then redeem for the beer. So we'll explain all of that, starting with just the general user profile. Drew, if you want to take it off.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Jose right now is going to create one of our new users, but to expand on what he was saying there, our goal was to really enable users to sort of cheers from afar. In an ever-increasing remote world, we want to allow friends to still connect from great distances over their favorite beers. Nice, first try. Well entered. So as a user, I can do a few different things here at BeerBuddies. One, I can search for my buddies and restaurants local to them. I can purchase a token, and then I can send it to my buddy. They're going to redeem it, down their beer, and then have me to thank for it. Sort of a digital, but round of drinks, so to speak. So when we hit the user profile, we can see here my handle's already been populated from what Jose entered earlier, and we can enter in some specific information that other users can utilize to look me up. Like my beer preference. I'm a stout guy. I'm probably going to grab a celebratory one of those after this is all over. And then after he saves these, we'll see that that data persists. We want to, in the future, allow users to edit their profile pictures, just an increased degree of customization, as well as a stretch goal of integrating with an API, maybe like Stripe or Square, to allow users to link their wallets and purchase those tokens. But for the purposes of demonstrating the site, we can increment our token count here, load up on those. And now that we're good to go, we're going to check out restaurants with Will.
Great, thanks, Drew. So when we go to the restaurants tab, we see a list of restaurants and their proximity to us and our location. And so we can go into these restaurants and look at their menus. So when we click on one restaurant, it'll redirect us to the restaurant page, which has different amount of information, the name, the URL, so you can go visit that restaurant. And most importantly, their beer menu. So when we explore their beer menu, we can see the different types of beers that the company has submitted, and their different ABVs. And if we choose one of those beers, we'll be able to see more details. So in this example, you can see the stout. We have a beer rating where all the users have entered their rating into our database, and we give an average, as well as some other notes about the flavors, etc. And when you click by beer, what it will do is it'll decrement a token, and it will add a beer to your beer garden, so then you can give it to your friend. So I'll pass the mic to Johnny.
So after the beer is bought, it gets sent over to Beer Garden. From here, the purchased beers are stored and saved here. And if you click on the strong stout, a unique QR code is generated. After you get this code, you can take it to a bar or a restaurant where they scan it, and they'll know which beer to bring you. And from there, I'll pass it on to Nick.
Okay, next is the buddy list. So if you click on buddy list, you can see all your friends that you're currently friends with the remove friend button. And if you search up with the search box, you can search up at any person you want to be friends with. So if you search up like Will, you can see it was populated on the bottom with that add friends button. So if you click on that, he becomes your friend. So if you click on the name itself, you see basic information about the user. One of our stretch goals were be able to send tokens to your friends and stuff like that. It hasn't been added yet, but it will be. And that's it for BeerBuddies.
Are there any questions?
At this time, we'll take questions from either the Zoom chat or the YouTube chat. We do have one question. How do you go about creating those QR codes? That's pretty sweet.
Will, you want to take that one?
Sure. So the QR code is basically an API integration. And what we did was we took some data from our database. So we took our beer ID and our the beer name and like the user ID, and we made it into a unique code. And we sent it through the API, and the API responded with the QR code with our metadata. And what we did is so other people couldn't make their own code and basically make their own beers or manufacture their own beer codes. We encrypted it using CryptoJS, which is a framework or a library for React that was able to encrypt all of our data with SHA 256 encryption to keep all the info safe.
I see the next question is from what API was used to get the beer data. So currently all that beer data is hard coded in. We do have backend models to represent each beer as a one-to-one relationship with a restaurant. So the idea behind it is us as developers or go to a merchant site, ask them what kind of beer we want to, or they want to add to their online menu, and then we either manually add it or they provide us wherever their endpoint is or their menu endpoint, and we can use that to kind of pull and aggregate the data. Models set up, but right now it's just kind of hard coded on the back end. Second question I saw is any plans to include rating system similar to Uber or Yelp? And a couple others from Scott Young. So we actually do also have the rating system. We actually end up running out of time, but that is also implemented on the back end. It's implemented as an aggregate, again, relationships with each restaurant, and then in the future with each beer. And does a dynamic poll based on what ratings have actually been submitted from each user. So kind of simple back-end model stuff for that. Block features, so not really. So the focus of this app is not on social networking. It's on the social aspect, but not really the communication networking. So if we did implement a messaging system, of course, it would be safety and standards such as blocking or message filtering, that kind of stuff. And the bar, so again, that depends on the payment API. So if it's something like Stripe or Square, it should, again, this is a giant should because I have not done much research into it. However, it should have its own API to work with, or a developer API to actually be able to not intercept, but have authority to either divert or analyze transactions from participating restaurants. That answers all the questions.